The sound of laughter echoed through the woods. Not the kind that warms the heart, but the cruel kind that cuts like a knife. A young woman, quiet and gentle, stood helpless as rough ropes bit into her wrists. They tied her to a tree, mocking her, spitting venomous words. She was just a farm girl, they said, weak, useless, forgettable. But what they didn't know was this: she wasn't alone in this world. Somewhere, thousands of miles away, her phone buzzed with a single call, and that call would awaken a storm they never expected. Because her husband was Delta Force. Emily grew up in the wide fields of Oklahoma. A quiet girl, soft-spoken. The kind who'd rather talk to animals than argue with people. She worked her family's small farm, often with dirt under her nails and a book in her pocket. But her silence made her a target. High school hadn't been kind. Even as an adult, some of those same bitter classmates hadn't grown up. They just got older. They saw her as fragile, a shadow, someone easy to break. What they didn't see was the strength it took for Emily to hold a broken family together after her parents' death. What they didn't see was the resilience behind her soft voice. And they certainly didn't see the life she shared with her husband, Jake. Jake wasn't just a soldier. He was Delta Force. A man trained to move in shadows, survive the impossible, and bring down threats far greater than petty bullies. But to Emily, he wasn't a warrior. He was her safe place, her laughter in the quiet evenings, her partner in tending the land when he was home. But most of the time, he was away. Missions in places he couldn't even name. Emily had learned to live with the silence of long deployments, holding on to the strength of their love like a lantern in the dark. She rarely spoke of Jake, not because she was ashamed, but because he wasn't a man who sought attention. His work was sacrifice, and sacrifice didn't need applause. It was supposed to be an ordinary afternoon. Emily was walking home through the edge of the woods when the voices came. A group of locals, men and women who never outgrew the bitterness of their youth. They cornered her, mocking her clothes, her quietness, the way she still played farmer. "You think you're better than us because you're married to some mystery man." One sneered. Emily didn't answer. She never did. Silence was her shield. But that day, silence wasn't enough. They grabbed her, laughed as they dragged her deeper into the woods, and with ropes they found in the back of a truck, they tied her to a tree. "Call your hero," one of them spat. "Let's see if he comes to save you." Her hands trembled. But through the jeers and the laughter, Emily managed to reach her phone. Hidden in her pocket, with shaky fingers, she pressed one number. Jake. She didn't say much. Just a whisper through tears. "Jakey, I need you." And then the line went silent. Jake was halfway across the country, training with his unit. But when he heard her voice, something inside him changed. He didn't ask questions. He didn't need to. He heard the pain, the fear, and that was enough. Within hours, he was on a plane. Within moments of landing, he was on the road. And by nightfall, he was there. The bullies hadn't left her yet. They were still circling, still laughing, enjoying their cruel game. But laughter turned to silence when headlights cut through the trees. Out stepped Jake. Not in uniform, not with weapons. Just a man whose presence alone carried the weight of battles survived and victories hard won. His eyes locked on Emily, still tied to the tree, bruises on her wrists, and then he turned to them. The men tried to laugh it off. "Relax, soldier boy. We're just having fun." But Jake didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. His silence was sharper than any blade. One by one, he walked up to them. Not with fists, not with violence, but with the quiet, unshakable authority of a man who had faced real monsters and knew these were nothing but cowards. "You think tying up a woman makes you strong?" His voice was low, dangerous. "Try standing against someone who can fight back." None of them did. Not one. Because in Jake's eyes they saw something terrifying. Not rage, but control. The kind of control only the strongest men possess. Within minutes, they were gone. Running, scattering. Their laughter silenced forever. Jake untied Emily gently, his hands trembling not with anger, but with love. He pulled her into his arms, holding her as though she were the only person in the world. And Emily, who had endured so much in silence, finally let the tears fall. "You came," she whispered. "Always," Jake answered. "No matter where I am. One call and I'm here." Final act, the message in the days that followed. The story spread through the town. People whispered about the bullies who had fled, the quiet farm girl whose husband arrived like a storm. But for Emily, it wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about fear. It was about this: that strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it waits. And sometimes it comes in the form of love so powerful, it can cross any distance. Closing line: leave viewers uplifted. So if you ever feel small, forgotten, or tied down by the cruelty of this world, remember Emily. Remember that even the quietest souls have warriors who will rise for them. And sometimes, the greatest strength of all is simply knowing you are never, ever alone.